3, 2, 1. Hi Karishma.
Hi Shalin.
Hello people. So welcome to the first episodes of 50 Moods of Mind, a show where we discuss 50 moods of mind. No, actually there are hundreds of moods. 50 is just a metaphorical number. So in our first episode, we are going to talk about COVID-19. Sorry, everyone is talking about that. Let's get a little bit more specific. Mental health in COVID-19. Okay, I'm really sorry, but it's getting more and more cliche. So let's get really specific. We are going to talk about relationships during the turbulent pandemic. We're going to talk about how your relationships may have gotten strained due to the COVID-19 anxiety, lockdowns, long-distance relationships, and most importantly, why this mess in your relationship is taking place and what you can do or your partner can do to make it in a healthy relationship as it was before. So I'll just briefly introduce myself. I'm Shalin Khatri. I'm a content writer and content creator. So currently I'm associated in a media house, VTV Gujarati in Ahmedabad. And I'm going to tell a fun fact about me. I'm an extra enthusiast person about everything. And along with me is the friend of our monkey mind. Can I tell you a secret? Sometimes I feel like she has answers to all the questions we've always wondered. Miss Karishma Desai.
Hello everyone. I'm Karishma. I'm a counselor in training, currently pursuing Masters in Counseling Psychology from Xavier's College, Mumbai. I'm passionate about psychological counseling, therapy, and matters related to the emotions that we feel in our mind.
First of all, I want to ask everyone of our audience out there, how is everyone dealing with the COVID crisis? I hope everyone is safe and sound, but I can tell without even meeting you guys that either shattering moments are taking place in your life, and let's say you are struggling to find peace within yourself. Or the second scene may be that you already learned how to deal with this mess. It can be either of these two scenarios. So I'll just let you guys know, do you know how small this little rascal is, the novel coronavirus, that is SARS-CoV-2? It is 60 nanometer in diameters. So I did some calculations for you guys. The width of a human hair is 1666 times that of the coronavirus. So if you take a human hair and on the diameter of that, 1666 coronavirus can just Netflix and chill. So this little pathogen has the ability to create complete pandemonium, I would say all across the globe. And it's not just affecting our lungs, but also I would say the way we think, the way we analyze things. So to put things into perspective, it's not just affecting the way we breathe, but also the way we interact with people. And because of that, suddenly every relationship is in turmoil. What do you say, Karishma?
I would say that maybe all the relationships on the globe, whether they are with your romantic partner or your friends and family, they have been affected in some way or the other. And that is due to the lockdown and the restrictions placed because of it, Our partner holds a very important place in our lives, so the long and sudden period of physical distance with our partner created due to this coronavirus has indeed been a very difficult time for all of us in some or the other way.
You know what, Karishma? I'm actually wondering why every relationship right now is giving hard times to their partners. Like, let's say romantic relationships, casual relationships, flings, or even people who have been with each other since years. Partners who thought that they had the best understandings with one another, they are also in turmoil. I think our viewers can also back me up here that there is a sudden shift in the paradigm here and everyone is left wondering like, what's happening to us? What's happening to me?
Many people have been forced to get into a long distance relationship. They might be experiencing a lot of frustration because of this, because it has been forcefully imposed on them. They were not ready for it in the first place and they did not even sign up for a long distance relationship when they might have first started dating. The frustration occurs because they have been forcefully made to stay away from each other and for such a long time, that is almost 5 months now.
I think that is the worst part, that people don't know when this calamity is going to end. 3 months, 1 year, 3 years. I don't think anyone, even the scientists, have the closest idea of how much time it's going to last.
Let's pray this scenario doesn't take place. So the relationship partners, They might also have become emotionally vulnerable, and the chief reason behind this is that they long for their partner's physical presence. Even if they talk every day and try to stay up to date with each other's lives, it would become so difficult to digest the fact that they cannot stay together or meet each other every day. There is also an air of uncertainty, because they don't know for how long they'll have to stay away from each other and not be able to meet each other physically. The lack of certainty also brings a lot of anxiety with it, actually, because they might be feeling as if they are losing touch with their partner. All of this together builds up as anger up to a certain extent. Basically, it is possible that all the frustration and emotional longing for your partner comes out as irritation and anger because you cannot express the other emotions.
I guess that's a very good point to consider. It is necessary to fathom which emotions or moods or thoughts are crossing your mind when you are anxious. We have been habituated since childhood to feel only one emotion in this situation, that is anger. And it collectively ruins things further, a relationship,
Yes, exactly. It might be possible that you yourself wouldn't know that there are so many emotions churning within you right now, which come out as annoyance and irritation in your mood. Sometimes this irritation or anger might be projected when you are talking to your partner, and this in turn might affect your relationship. It is very natural for all these situations to occur right now because most of us have never seen or experienced times like these before. But I guess it is valid for us to be worried and feel frustrated if a virus comes and kills us all together, like literally, and is becoming the cause of rough patches in our relationship. Then it is okay to be worried and anxious.
So I just want to quickly ask out all our listeners out there. You can just write down the emotions that you may be feeling in your relationship or in your casual life because of this pandemic. So I always try to tell people, always remember the fact that self-awareness is the key here. So Karishma, now that we have talked about the issue, that is the elephant in the room, I guess, let's shift to what is the solution here. As a psychology student, how do you analyze this problem and how can we, let's say, rebuild our relationships?
Sure, food for thought. All the relationships that we talk about, the problems that we talk about, we have to first understand that relationships are all basically emotional attachments. So I will get a bit technical, but we will jump on the practical part pretty soon. According to the theory of attachment, which is a worldwide accepted theory in psychology, there are mainly 3 attachment styles. The first is the anxious resistant attachment style. If the person has this style, then they tend to feel extremely anxious and distressed when their partner or a person they are attached to goes away from them. Even when their partner returns, they will behave in an anxious manner, which becomes difficult to soothe for the other person. They might also have ill feelings towards the person because they went away from them, and they might also despise the person for that. So, if we talk about long distance relationships here, romantic relationships specifically, so in a desperate attempt to resist the separation, the person might feel anxious all the time, or at least most of the time during the day. They can feel anxious about whether their partner is thinking about them or not, whether they care about them or not, etc. To get an assurance that their partner still loves them, in spite of the physical distance between them, they will do behaviors such as calling their partner after every fixed duration of time, or suppose texting them and asking about their whereabouts, constantly seeking assurance that they will not leave them. People who have this attachment style might also rely often on their partners for constant emotional support and validation. This might make the other person feel overpowered in the relationship, or what we typically call as, suffocated in the relationship.
Wow, that is just fascinating. This is basically a class 101 for relationships. And I'm pretty sure people have as of now related themselves and their partners in this classification. Is it right?
Be patient, Shalin. There is still another type of attachment. I'm sure many people would relate to that as well. If the person has another style of attachment, that is, anxious avoidant attachment style, he or she will completely start avoiding the other person when they are away from them. Even on the person's return, they might show avoidant behaviors which might make the other person feel as if he or she is not interested in the relationship anymore. We should keep in mind that these people might not actually mean to completely block their partners out, but they do so as a coping strategy to deal with the physical separation from their partner. They might also not prefer to depend a lot on others, including their partners, let's say, for emotional support. So now the question arises, what is the solution? If you are someone who falls into any of the above attachment styles, first of all, it is okay. Somewhere all of us have been through this phase. We are going to talk about an ideal attachment style. Now beware. You may not need to adapt it completely, but you can just adapt some of the traits that you and your partner feel comfortable with. The third category of attachment style that we will now talk about, and perhaps the ideal one, is the secure attachment style. This is the situation in which the person is secured enough in the relationship where they are not too anxious or distressed about being physically away from their love. They are secured in the relationship such that they seek emotional support from their partner, as and when required. Also, that they are willing to become a safe place for their partner whenever they want to depend on them. Now, this is the most important part. If you feel yourself relating to any of the first two attachment styles, which is maybe causing problems in your relationship, then it might be helpful to reflect on your behaviors and give a thought on how you can control some of these behaviors. If you see these behaviors or one of these two attachment styles being shown by your partner, or for that matter yourself, then the knowledge that you gain might be helpful to better understand the whole situation.
The knowledge that you gain, that's a really important point. So in all these scenarios, Karishma, I want to ask you, how important is communication in all of these processes?
Communication is the key, if I may say. So it might also be helpful to talk to your partner about the feelings that you both are going through. Constructively talking to each other about your feelings will help you understand each other better. You can try to maintain a balance by giving space to your partner, but also giving each other the emotional support when your partner needs it. So research has shown that people who have secure attachment style, that is the third kind of attachment style, engage in behaviors like giving assurance to their partner that they are there whenever he or she needs them. It also includes being open to your partner about your feelings and finally, cooperating with each other and constructively solving a crisis. The partners also engage in positive conversations with each other from time to time. Finally, I would like to say that this has been a very difficult time for all of us all over the world because of the global and also personal issues that it has brought with it. So we should keep in mind that this phase is affecting everyone in some or the other way. We should also try not to let the pandemic's distress affect our most valued relationships in life.
Okay, so that's it from our side. You have listened to the first episodes of 50 Moods of Mind. I and Karishma heartily wish that may you and your partner take some insights from what we have discussed, put it in application and have a long, happy and healthy relationship ahead. If you like this podcast, then don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe to us. We'll see you soon.
Alright guys, we will see you soon.